I'm Live Wire Charlie.
And I'm Dangerous.
And we are Live Danger.
And you're watching
BJ
and DG Talk Wrestling.
Welcome back, everybody. What an amazing week of wrestling. BJ here, DG there. You're muted.
All right, my bad. How's it going, everybody?
I was wondering why you were so quiet for the last couple minutes.
Yeah, especially considering we were watching the football game and I was literally commenting like, yeah, his foot was out of bounds. Like, that was a really close coin flip call for that. Oh, and they scored anyway. So what does it matter? Danger Ginger here. And sometimes, as always, but not today, Chef the Ref. So we have no referee. So who knows what could possibly happen on this lovely episode.
I suspect it will not stay on the rails.
But I guess since I'm the ref in training, let's ring that bell.
All right. So I guess we'll start at the beginning with Raw, right?
Yeah, we can start there. Let me check the rundown. Yeah, Raw is a good start. A lot of good stuff on Raw this week. As we were discussing earlier, after your Sunday brunch show on your BJ Drank Spear channel, go like and subscribe to that now, people. And we were talking about the opening of Raw. It started out as it did last week. We had the opening segment, which led directly into a match, and I really like that formula a bit better because as a viewer myself, I'm like, cool, they went to commercial, but I know when they come back, I'm not going to see another backstage segment or interview or something. We're getting straight to the match. And what a good match it was. But a little bit before we get to that, Raw kicks off with John Cena. But really, before he can really say anything, we got Dirty Dom coming out wanting that rematch. And Cena offers it to, because Cena being Cena.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, but Dom doesn't want it at Madison Square Garden. What a chump. Maybe Pat McAfee is right. He really is just a dude wipe that's been used. Oh, and a dedication of Chef not being here. Red Pop Fago.
I have an Uncle Arnie strawberry soda.
So, cheers. Ah, look. Tara, as I'm talking about Fago, pops up in the chat.
Tara, who apparently lost her voice yesterday.
Yes, she did. Which, if you're interested in what we're talking about real quick, we were talking about last night's PWU Justified, which this Tuesday, 6 p.m. here, BJDG Talk Wrestling, where we will have our review show, and we will talk about everything that happened and more.
And some stuff that didn't happen.
Well, yeah, definitely some stuff that didn't happen, but it wasn't all that much of didn't happen, more of reshuffling of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dom's getting his rematch at Wargames. I think there's a good chance Cena could drop the title back somehow to him.
It's a tough one. Like, you know, you think about the tournament being for the title and how great that would be and everything, but it doesn't need it. So it could go either way.
Well, I stand on the thing of the tournament's not for the title necessarily. It's just that John Cena will defend that title against whoever he's going to face that comes out the tournament because that's who he is.
Right.
You know, it's just more because the tournament had already started. So then we have now him win the championship.
Uh-oh.
So it's definitely an interesting way it all played out. But here we are, right? I thought with JD and Finn coming out, which it led to the 6-man tag team match, when Sheamus and Ray came out to assist Cena, I thought that was a really fun match. Yeah. One thing I would love to do, and that's I give credit to Sheamus for a moment in this match. They were setting up for the 5-knuckle shuffle. And Sheamus ends up being the one in the middle. He stops the entire thing and moves Cena physically into the middle between everybody because that's where he should have been.
Yeah, that was a fun moment.
Like, part of me wonders if that was scripted to happen or if it was just that's where they ended up in the spot and Sheamus was like, wait. Switch spots. All right, let's go. But
It looked very natural when that happened.
It really did, but at the same time, I expect a lot of stuff from these guys just to look natural, even when it's not. But it was absolutely a good moment that of the paying of the respect in that manner. I think we even saw a video of Dom yelling at the Judgment Day, asking where they were. I'm very interested to see how Survivor Series does play out for this Intercontinental title match. Because could we see the Judgment Day turn on Dom? Dom, in reality, Dom's the last one left from the original Judgment Day. He's been in it since right after they formed and they lured him to the dark side.
Finn was in before him, though, right?
No.
No?
Finn joined after, and that was when they kicked Damian and Rhea out.
Okay, yeah.
Because then Liv took Rhea's place. So very interesting. Let's see. Let's talk about who Solo's opponent was for the last time is now tournament on Raw. We had talked about it last week. You originally suggesting Joe Hendry, and I kind of argue because nothing there really screamed Joe Hendry to me, especially considering he had just signed his contract.
Well, let's talk about now how he probably will end up being in this tournament.
No, he is not.
Oh, who's going to replace Sheamus?
I know, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody who doesn't like spoilers.
Oh, that's
I accidentally
already filmed.
Yeah, they filmed it because of Thanksgiving this weekend coming up.
All right, now I got to look it up.
But, it is what it is. But yeah, so we have Nic Nemeth return on Monday Night Raw. But not return. We had Dolph Ziggler return to face Solo. Yet, no Chef this week. He has prior engagements. I don't know. I think he's refereeing some match between a squirrel and a hamster. I don't know. I don't understand how he got pulled into it, but that's the way booking works out sometimes.
Well, it's a really good deal for him. They're paying him in peanuts.
You gotta make them peanuts, man. But yeah, we get to, and as I speculated, the pop for Dolph Ziggler's theme song to hit.
Yeah.
And did you see or hear anything from his interviews after that?
No.
What he went through? Of them hiding him the entire time until his match. He's like, I've always been on the other side of it as the guy going out and being debuted on. And he said it was a really cool experience because it's something he's never experienced like that before. The guy being hidden somewheres, just waiting for the moment to come out. I thought him and Solo had an amazing match. Also, this was like, oh God, what was it? I think I screenshotted it. I forget, but this was like his 1500th match or 2000, something that lined up with the last time Solo and him had a match. I think which was during the COVID era or right outside after leaving the COVID era. But it was something as to how it worked out when I saw the meme and everything for it. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, these two had a great match. I was kind of hoping Dolph / Nic Nemeth would win. I really was.
I was hoping so, but it didn't. Didn't seem like he was going to.
But if it was going to be any of the two you would keep around, possibly, it would be him, to try to get him at least for one more. Because he has a ton of history with Cena. As compared to Solo, even though Solo has one of the recent victories against Cena.
Right.
I don't see Solo winning this, though. Like, the entire tournament.
No. Okay, Okay, well, I can't watch the game.
CeeDee Lamb just looked like he fumbled, but his elbow touched the ground and he was down. Let's see, where are we at here? What else can we talk about? Since we're talking about the Last Time Is Now tournament pretty much, Gunther and Javon Evans.
Wow.
How happy I was for Javon Evans to be in this, as I thought he rightfully deserved to be.
Yeah.
Even though he was third overall on my list, with Obafemi and Trick being 1 and 2, pending on however what individual person wants to rank them. You know, like, all deserving names to have that, especially against Gunther. A Trick Gunther match would have been great. A Trick Oba match would have been great. But if there's anybody who can eat the loss and recover from it, it's Javon Evans. As compared that you don't want Oba taking a loss again right now. And you don't want Trick taking a pointless loss right now.
Right. Okay, well, that's bizarre. My TV won't let me watch the game anymore.
Oh, that's not good. Hopefully that translates to Dallas and the Eagles calling plays. Moving on, though. Last Time Is Now tournament. Shift over to SmackDown real quick because we had a couple interesting matches over there, too. But let's talk about the second one from SmackDown this week. Penta and Finn Balor. Oh, I said that this was the match I was looking forward to last week. Barring whoever was going to be the mystery person, which we kind of all agreed on was most likely Dolph Ziggler after we talked about it and everything. With a slight chance of Joe Hendry because, you know, but nobody said his name. That's the whole thing. But yeah, Penta and Finn, they put on a hell of a match to be the main event match of SmackDown because it closed with a segment for the Women's Wargames, which we'll talk more about later. I was really happy to see this match. I think there's a lot of potential at some point down the road, especially for, say, a Lucha Brothers versus Finn and JD, considering that, if you haven't heard, the Lucha Brothers are reuniting in AAA, I do believe, to begin a chase for those championships. So that should be interesting to see unfold. I'm hoping this is a testing of the waters just for WWE. Because, as we know, in the past, I don't know what it's like now, how much they pay attention, but under Vince, nobody really... Other people did pay attention, but Vince himself did not pay attention to anything else outside the WWE universe.
Right.
And if it's something I have consistently said on this show, since they're both in WWE now, was... I get separating them temporarily. You have to get them together as a team. It's a huge... Especially to look at just that tag team division across the board. You would talk about the Judgment Day. We would be talking about the Motor City Machine Guns. We would be talking about the Lucha Brothers. Steven Chambers, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. God, I'm still missing other tag teams. DIY, Fraxium, and just talking across the board, like, it's something to where just so many teams that could be, and if you get Trick back called up, and you were to pair him and Mello back together for a short bit, you know, I think there's just so much that can be done with that tag team division where SmackDown, you have MFT. You have the Wyatt Six with Loomis and Gacy as the main tag team in that group. Like, that's a lot of talent. Split Viking Raiders whenever they return.
Right. Well, they're not injured or anything. They just haven't been around.
No, I think one of them's injured.
Again? Man.
I'm not quite sure the details on that. But I know I haven't really seen anything of them having a tag team match recently. Oh,
right.
Yes. We did mention Judgment Day. Pretty deadly, but half of them's injured. We currently have AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I almost said AJ Lee. But that gimmick's already taken, literally. But it's just something to say to where if it was one title, you could legitly say to combine and crossover between both shows, it's the tag team championships. Where I like the divisions and how things are placed. Because it's not really divisions no more, you know. It's, hey, you know, you kind of know your spot. You know, but we could see a guy challenge for a world title one week and then go for the mid-card title the next.
Well, yeah, I mean, that just goes to show, like, you know, tag teams historically have been guys who need either more work without being in the match the whole time or, like, guys who need to work on stamina. So, you know, so they have a little break and everything. But it's nowadays it seems a lot less thrown together in that aspect, and it's just like, yeah, anyone from any tag team could, like, for the most part, could have a solo run and challenge for almost, you know, just about any title.
Speaking of tag teams, DIY Fraxium had a match this week on SmackDown. I noticed something very interesting with DIY's entrance. They did not come out to the DIY theme.
Right, it was this Rebel Heart.
Ciampa came out first to his theme,
and right.
Then Rebel Heart hit for Johnny Gargano to come out.
Right.
Very interesting. Could we be seeing the beginning of a split, or at least them pursuing different things right now, which could lead to the eventual split? Because but one gets a title, we know what happens.
I don't know if this is any indication. I think this might just be a swerve. Like something to get you thinking that.
I don't know. I was disappointed I didn't see him interfere because I want to see him start ruining Ciampa, who I'm talking about, start ruining these Dragunov open challenges.
Right.
You know, so that they can build toward a match happening between them two. Because it's one thing to have the open challenges every week. You still need a number one contender and somebody else who is in pursuit of that championship. You know, an open challenge is cool and all, but like I said, you know, that SmackDown tag team division right now is almost non-existent with the champions because they've been in AAA, the Wyatt Six. But I think we'll see them again real soon. And then, all right, we still got to talk about the other last time is now tournament match from SmackDown. We veered off a little bit. Carmelo Hayes defeating Bronson Reed by countout. After the division tried to interfere, the Usos and Cody Rhodes come out to counter that, and Bronson Reed took a big move on the outside during all that the referee, I believe the referee was distracted, didn't see. And he got counted out. Carmelo Hayes moves on. Now, something after this I would like to say, Cody Rhodes promo, which I'm going to say right now is the best promo I think he's cut since his return. And I kind of want to segue from now, because now we would have to go back to Monday Night Raw because that sets up his promo. But just to point out, is there any way to send commenters to commentary? I am completely not loving it at the moment. This is let's go. Let's transition real quick to come back to that, to the beginning of Monday Night Raw. Or is it the beginning or was it the... No, it was the end of Monday Night Raw. So the closing of Monday Night Raw, we have what we know of the two teams facing off in the ring before their match. Now, Heyman had teased in a segment with Pierce and Aldis earlier in the night that, they have a fifth member. He gave them a contract, whatever, and they saw who it was. And their reactions were, this is going to be good. This is going to be trouble, but it's going to be good. I'm assuming all this went to the liquor store and bought half the store out that night. Between having to deal with Becky Lynch and Paul Heyman. I'm waiting for Adam Pearce to get fired as GM or take a leave of absence to go into rehab at this point. The only thing that would be worse if he had to deal with Chelsea also regularly. But yeah, so we get a face-off. You know, we get Division talking trash. And as was kindly pointed out to me earlier today, Logan Paul having his promo written on his wrist.
It's on his palm.
Oh, on his palm?
Yeah, because the shot, he's like got his hand up like this somehow, and you can see it.
But Logan Paul's cutting his promo. You get the Usos coming out. Another tag team that could be thrown back into the tag team division at some point, the Usos. Not together, not together, whatever. You know, it's like a chick plucking flower petals, like, you know, oh, he loves me not. He loves me not. Whatever. So we get Usos out, then we get Punk out, we get Cody out. And all these guys start to brawl, as you figure this would happen, you know, because that's how these segments always happen. It's like seeing a contract signing and not somebody fighting. Or a wedding segment in pro wrestling that doesn't get interrupted and ruined. Unless it's Dexter Loomis marrying Indy Hartwell. And he has an axe on him and tells everybody to shush. So, there we go. And we get the brawl. We get Logan Paul and CM Punk isolated in the ring. We get Punk lifting up Logan Paul for a GTS. And we get the music hitting.
Dun,
of the Beast.
dun, dun, dun.
Brock. Oh, we need that soundbite. I think I can do it justice. Brock Lesnar.
I can't even attempt that after all the yelling last night.
I'm surprised I can do it. But, yeah. Wow. We get Lesnar in the ring. We get some F5s. And then we have Lesnar standing tall in the ring as only Brock Lesnar can. Heyman being Heyman. Which, by the way, I give Heyman credit for this team. I really do. Because you look at this team. This is a dangerous team, especially to be in a cage with.
Oh, yeah.
Bronson Reed, who broke his ankle last year in this match. Braun Breaker. Logan Paul, which it will be his first, but we know what to expect from him. I just don't think we've seen him in this situation yet, which will be very interesting. And then Brock, which this will be his first, but we've seen him in Hell in a Cell matches and stuff like that. And then, who's the other guy?
Breaker.
I said Breaker, Reed, Paul, Lesnar. Oh! And Drew McIntyre.
And McIntyre, right.
That's a dangerous team, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Very dangerous team.
I mean, so is the team on the other side, though.
Yes, which, to continue now, wow, Brock Lesnar is standing in the middle of this ring. Which, alright, we talked about this last week. We knew. It was the return of our tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Acknowledge me.
And, appearance by Khaleesi here. You just had to get on camera, huh? Hi, baby. All right, down. And no, the build up I feel like has been good this year, better than other years. Like, because last year we knew it was going to be, I knew it a year in advance. BJ can vouch for this. So can Chef if he was here. That I literally played out the entire game plan in the bullet points of how we were going to get the War Games of Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0. Well, you know, things changed, I guess. I mean, the Beast came back. Which,
yeah, right?
Yeah, so Roman hits the ring. The first person he sees is Brock. And the Superman punch that Brock took and sold. Absolutely beautiful. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him sell a Superman punch like that.
It goes beyond the sell. Like, he literally looked scared when Roman's music hit. When Roman came out, he looked scared. When he got hit, he rolled right out.
I mean, let's look at this in perspective. On the other side of this, the last two people to defeat Brock Lesnar are on that other team.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Cody beat him the last 2 times. Which now we can talk about with Cody Rhodes' promo, because Cody ran everybody down in this match. He points out he's the last person to beat Brock Lesnar not once but twice. And from all the matches of dealing with the Bloodline and Roman, he learned from Paul Heyman. He told Logan Paul to go get his drone and go do some flippy stuff. Oh, I forget what he said about Bronson Reed. But my favorite was Braun Breaker. And historically speaking, everybody knows a Steiner is not better than a Rhodes. Ooh. Absolutely love it. Oh, I missed this comment. Croc Lesnar. Actually, so if you remember the Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar feud, there's a point during the build-up where Joe chokes him out on the top of the ramp. Brock's face went bright red, and I started calling him Brock Lobster. But yeah, even to the point that you had New York City police officers trying to split these two up. And then you have CM Punk with a kendo stick right behind them, choking out Logan Paul. And I'm just like, oh man, this is absolutely great. Just real quick, you said you spotted a couple indie guys we know, which I believe was on SmackDown, correct?
I did. I definitely saw at least Gabriel and Matthew from Primal Fear. I didn't see Adrian that night.
Who also, Primal Fear, Adrian Soriano, Matt Omen, and Gabriel Hodder all appeared at Full Gear. Also appearing at Full Gear in a side role was Tommy Invincible, which if you follow the indies, you'll know who I'm talking about. So congratulations to those guys. Also, real quick, since we are talking about people that appeared in other places, and we'll talk more about this on our Tuesday show, when we'll be covering PWU Justified with all the results and all the things that happened and some that did not happen. Throw up the graphic there real quick. Congratulations to current PWU World Champion JP Grayson on making his Ring of Honor debut this past week.
Yeah. Recent guest on the show, friend of the show, JP Grayson, our PWU champion. It's just always great to see people that we see so often succeeding.
So 3 of the guys we mentioned, Primal Fear, were 3 of the guys. Leo St. Giovanni was one. So was his tag team partner, and I can't recall his name off the top of my head. I'm actually going to look it up real quick.
Yeah, also in that segment, all three guys from Primal Fear.
Yes.
So Primal Fear have worked for WWE and AEW in the last week.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I'm very happy for those guys. It's not
Absolutely.
the first time that we've seen them on either show.
I know they've done stuff like that before. I mean, they had a match on Dark, a while back, but still. I know they've done stuff like that before, but that's the first time I remember watching live and seeing them.
Yeah. Oh, Colton Charles was the big guy.
Yeah.
That I couldn't figure out. And who might have been there if he wasn't injured still, GKM.
Oh, right.
Which I can't wait for him to return after his injury.
Yeah, he should be back soon. It's been a while.
Sorry, I had to talk to the dog real quick. Oh, I had not seen that. Wow.
Oh, no way.
So much wrestling is so little time.
Oh, yeah, and last night I got home from the show, passed out immediately, and woke up and had to get ready for my stream this morning. So I haven't had time to even really catch up on anything.
And the Eagles' interception in the end zone. Sigh. Yes, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Oh, December 20th. What an interesting date considering PWU, Silver and Gold. December 20th.
Which is already stacking up to be an amazing show.
Yes, which you'll catch a couple of the things that have already been named to appear on Tuesday. We will save that for that.
Yeah.
Back to what we were talking about though. Raw goes on. Now, I loved how they did the whole thing because this is something I've been loving recently with WWE, how they'll tease the show going off the air.
Yeah.
And then we get that last moment thing where it's like, oh, we're not going off the air after all. Which was the Roman return.
Right.
Because you had the crowd chanting for him.
Mm-hmm. They were saying OTC from the time everything started.
As Raw goes off the air, though, we get Roman spearing two of the New York City cops and Bronson Reed through the timekeeper spot. Great spot. Definitely looking forward to how that plays out, especially after Cody's promo this week. They've definitely done a good job building this up, even without having Seth Rollins there now.
Yeah.
Which is very unfortunate. But I think they've rebounded really well. And I'm going to be honest when I say this. I kind of hope to see Logan Paul stick with the vision. I think it's...
Yeah.
Not yet, but it could happen in the next 5 to 10 years.
It's slowly dying.
But then again, I remember people saying, oh, TNA's dead. Oh, AEW's dying. You know what? These wrestling companies aren't going anywhere. WWE's far from dead. They've just gotten very comfortable to where they're at. And anybody that wants to argue about why certain individuals like a Jey Uso being pushed, I can explain at any time, because I've done it in several other episodes, why Jey Uso is the one getting a push like he is because how much the internet complains, and you can complain all you want on the internet. You know what? You know what I see 12 to 15,000 fans doing as soon as his music hits? And you know what that means? He's going to continue getting the push. It's like saying, why is CM Punk at his age a world champion? Because it does good for the championship, and he is over right now. Stephen Chambers in the chat. I partially agree. I'm hoping it's more of that they just buy into it, but let TNA stay their own entity still. Kind of like AAA. Like, hey, we're going to be here, but you run it as you see fit type deal. We're just here to make sure everything looks good. But even if that's the case and they don't buy TNA, TNA has heavily benefited way more than WWE has in the long run. And I can name the reasons why all day as to where they didn't benefit at all with AEW outside of Kenny Omega walking into the AEW shows with their championship. Because of what we've seen with this relationship is absolutely amazing. And as I talked about something with TNA, they've started this invasion storyline now on their side of it instead of it being on NXT. And I think that's, I said it after they did that special show with the crossover and everything that was originally supposed to be called Invasion and they had to change the name. Was that it wasn't over and we were working toward that angle. And I love the names that they have chosen for it because they're names that aren't really doing anything in NXT right now. And that gives them exposure over on the other side. And, you know, this is what the working relationship is. They did the whole story with Trick. You know, Joe Hendry was being slowly phased out, and we already would have figured if you're a wrestling fan that if Joe Hendry's contract comes up, WWE's jumping on that. He is perfectly built for the WWE machine, regardless if it was Vince, Triple H, or TKO.
Oh, well, his contract didn't even expire. They worked something out. His contract wasn't due to expire for like another 2 months.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, regardless of the situation, I'm assuming that contract is still valid at the moment, and it's just the working relationship has been like, all right, you know, well, he can appear for you guys, but we now want him doing stuff for us. And I think probably at the earliest after WrestleMania, we see him on the main roster.
Well, no, the language is he's officially signed. We could see him.
Yeah. He's no. I'm saying like now going from NXT to the main roster now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would love to see him on the main roster sooner and start a program with Randy Orton.
Well, he's signed to a main roster contract. He's
I think he has a similar deal to Jordan Grace.
No.
Jordan Grace has got main roster contract, and she chose NXT at the moment.
From what I hear, like he won't be going to NXT.
I think we see him in the Iron Survivor at Deadline. I think.
He'll be in NXT for now, but like I'm saying, like, you know, the way they made it sound is like within the next month or so he'll be on.
No, I don't. At soon, if I'm going to go super soon, Royal Rumble, he eliminates Randy Orton, and we kind of get the set up for a Hendry Orton actual match now. Right. You know, because he could be like, oh, it was payback for what you did to me at WrestleMania, you know? You squashed me. So now I take
Honestly,
away...
though, there are so many other possibilities for great matchups. You can get to that at any point. Like, you know, you have a good year or two before Orton can't do it. No. Like, I would rather see him in, like, a high-impact, like...
I mean, I have one other name because it's not going to happen anytime before December 13th. And it would be Joe Hendry calling out John Cena to come out for one more match against him at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that does seem far-fetched.
No, but I'm just saying that's been something that he's been politicking for. And I've been saying it. Saturday Night Main Event, some random special on Peacock, that's where you're retiring John Cena?
Yes.
No.
Why? It only makes sense.
Listen, I am not the biggest Cena supporter in the world. That if you actually look online, SmackDown was taped this past Friday, and that name has already been revealed, and I will tell you, it is not Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's name is nowhere on this tournament thing outside of him politicking for a match.
I couldn't find that in the. I couldn't put that in the private chat for me.
There you go. You're welcome.
Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay. I did see that. I just it didn't click.
Yeah. So, like I said, how much that they had the opportunity to do it. Everybody in this tournament almost has had some type of history with Cena or wants that moment. You know, like Bronson Reed, I don't think had too much history with him.
Not that I know.
I know Carmelo Hayes really does it, so those are a couple interesting. Same thing with Javon Evans. I think him and Gunther might have cross paths, not in a match, but just cross paths.
I don't think they would have. But the timeline doesn't really work.
No. I'm saying like something backstage or something to where it could have been some throwaway segment.
Yeah, it's about half and half when you look at who has history and who doesn't with them.
I know most of the names actually do. I know Penta really doesn't. But he's an exciting name to have in the tournament.
So there's like almost half of the names we've already named who don't.
But I mean, who's still remaining?
Oh yeah. I'm just saying from the original.
Sheamus had plenty of history.
Grab a drink.
But yeah, I just think that Hendry deserves a big moment, and a Royal Rumble one would be it. But again, like I said, I don't think that Cena goes out in the end on Saturday Night Main Event, especially if the rumors are true and he's going to be a part of this upcoming Hall of Fame class. I could see him having one more match, and that they secretly kept one date from us. I've said it from the beginning. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I didn't say it from the beginning. We got about halfway through his dates, and I all of a sudden started feeling like there was a date missing. And with that thought, it's just like, if they were going to do something to surprise everybody, you do it at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is built on moments. Because most people don't, and that's even matches, most people don't remember an entire match hold from hold, every little moment. You remember the big moments of how somebody won, or a moment in the match that led to the end, or just an epic moment in a match that hadn't even started, like Mick Foley going off to Hell in the Cell. That match hadn't even started yet.
I say if they do bring him back for Mania, he jobs out in like 2 minutes.
A squash? Who would you give the squash to then? The squash victory to then?
Oh man, anybody. Who's like the least likely person to win a match on their roster?
Oh, you're not putting literally the drizzling craps in that spot and expecting to get gold.
No, you'll get the pop. You know, he'll be better. You know, it'll be an unexpected moment. Have like fucking Wild go over him.
Tozawa. Ha ha ha. That's great. I mean, Maxxine finally won her second match ever, and it was for the Women's Intercontinental title. Yeah, let's talk about that, because that was on our rundown today.
Yeah. With some help.
Yeah, yes, but I said it when we kind of knew it was coming, you know.
Yeah.
That if any title was going to change at MSG, it would be the Women's Intercontinental title, especially for somebody like Maxxine, because it's a surprising moment, and especially MSG is built around that.
Right.
You know, moments nobody sees coming.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she definitely had a little help to win the belt.
She had, AJ Lee came out, but she never interfered in the match. Becky Lynch took her eyes off the ball.
No, yeah, but that's still help. It's a distraction. What I'm saying is she going to be able to defend that title against anybody without, you know, that little distraction, you know, in a fair match? Is she going to be able to maintain that title?
We will see. Chowder and dogs. Yeah. Why am I just saying the yeah?
Dummy. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually really happy to see it. Becky did with what she could for that title. It's time for that title to go on somebody who doesn't have the name recognition necessarily, because that's how legacy is held with the Intercontinental title. It's supposed to be the stepping stone. It's supposed to help build. This is where where the competitor doesn't legitimize the belt. The belt legitimizes the competitor. She still pinned Becky Lynch 1, 2, 3. No matter what videos Becky Lynch wants to post online of the referee's 10 count outside the ring when the music hit and the referee stopped counting. Like, hey, you can blame the referee all you want, but in the end, whose shoulders got pinned down for 3? And you have to find every little minor thing wrong in a match with a referee's cadence while you have a timer going. Because let me tell you, no referee is looking at a stopwatch going, okay, 1, okay, 2. Every referee has their own cadence of how they count. You just have to do the right thing. I hope, because whatever this whole Natalya thing is now in WWE, is that she's always like the goody two-shoes person, but did we see her anywhere else if she appears for like GCW for like their what's it called, without the ropes?
Bloodsport.
Yeah, Bloodsport, or wherever else she might appear that they allow her. It just seems like she's a meaner, more serious version of herself, and that's the version I want to see on WWE TV. If you ask me.
Yeah, Natalya as is, I don't see as much of a threat at all. But yeah, turn her heel, give her an evil streak. I'm in.
Go to Montreal, do a screw job.
Go to AEW.
Write the letters AEW in the air before you leave the ring. Spit in Triple H's face.
Well, it would be who would be Shawn Michaels in this
Maxxine.
Well, I'm saying just like not in this specific situation, but if this were a perfect reenactment.
Well, then who would? Maxxine and Alpha Academy.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
What more do you want me to tell you? I don't work for WWE. I'm just playing with the cards I was dealt.
Yeah, it's not really what I meant, but all right.
Well, I'm just saying, but also in that case, Natty would have to be the babyface still, and they would have to be the heel.
Oh, yeah, true.
So that's why I went the route I did. Let's see. But yeah, I thought that I was happy with what I saw in that match. There wasn't nothing that really surprised me outside of I was just hoping there wouldn't be some type of distraction for it. But there was, and that's fine because it was AJ Lee. They have a ongoing feud still going, And in the end, she did not interfere in the match. Becky Lynch took her eyes off the ball for too long, and the veteran got upset by the up-and-coming star. But no matter what somebody wants to say, oh, well, the referee should have been counting faster out when Maxxine was outside the ring when AJ Lee was coming. Well, guess what? The referee got distracted like everybody else did, just like you did when her music hit. You got rolled up for the 3 count. That's on you. But I did also enjoy another video that she was trying to call Adam Pearce or something, and somebody gave her a number, and it was the number to Rick Roller.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so that was good. Some of the stuff I enjoy on Instagram is absolutely amazing. Yeah, you just have to go on Becky Lynch's Instagram page to see it all.
I'm not going to do that.
Let's see. real quick, talk some NXT. Ava announces that instead of the way they typically choose the Iron Survivors or the people to get the opportunity, John Cena this upcoming week will be announcing all 5 people for both matches. So he alone is choosing. That should be pretty interesting to see.
So does this count as one of his appearances? Or is he not appearing on the show at all? He's just going to...
They said he will announce it.
All right.
But I don't think he's actually appearing in attendance.
Right, okay.
But who knows? But what I really want to talk about this was the NXT Women's Championship main event. Tatum Paxley defending against Jacey Jayne. And it was a good match. It wasn't. It was not a bad match at all.
Right.
I just feel bad for Tatum Paxley, man.
Yeah, I mean, she's finally in with this group, and well, things aren't as they seem.
My major issue here. So just to explain real quick, we get to a point in a match. They already tried using the belt once, or JC did, I think. Referee caught it. And then there's another time where referee's distracted with JC. Tatum's outside the ring. She's about to go get back in the ring. And then they're calling Sean Spears. And oh, God, what's the other guy's name? We went through this last week, too.
Nico Vance.
Yes. They block her from getting back in the ring. And then she catches a big boot from Izzy. They throw her back in the ring. Jacey Jayne hits that, elbow? That spinning discus elbow or whatever she uses.
Something like that, yeah.
Hits Tatum with it. 1, 2, 3. Jacey Jayne joins an elite list of women who have been 2-time NXT champions. Oh, when did the Cowboys score?
Last week.
Neither was I, in all honesty. I was just surprised how soon it happened.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes you think there must be plans in place for something. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes from here, because now this puts Tatum at least in a good feud, but it also makes sense. She's been getting cheered, and she was starting to turn the calling face.
Right. Yeah, can't let that happen.
But here's what doesn't make sense to me. So if I'm the leader of a faction, right? I brought in this new person and they won gold. Why would you turn on them and then take the gold away from your group? Why would you not make sure she retains the title, turn, and then make sure that Izzy Dame was the next one in line to get the championship match?
Yeah, maybe it's just not about the gold for them.
Well, then why are you in the... we know it's not for Sean Spears.
I don't know. I mean,
I think there's better uses of the Righteous if they were to go to NXT than being with Tatum. I thought the best pairing they had with her was with Scarlett, not Scarlett, Shotzi and Lyra. No, that was after Lyra. Who was the... They were kind of like the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here, but I remember that. It's not coming to me. Yeah, right before Shotzi got fired.
Yeah. There was another title
match.
match.
By the way, she just lost a belt? Or won a belt?
Yeah, Shotzi won the House of Glory Championship.
Okay. I knew I just saw something like that. Congratulations.
Defeating Indy Hartwell for it.
That's right. Yeah.
let's see. I thought the opening AAA mixed tag team match was really good with Chelsea Green and Ethan Page retaining against Hendry and Thea Hale.
Yeah.
Really fun match. It's kind of what I expect, and I like the pairing of Joe Hendry and Thea Hale right now.
They were great together.
Yeah, her energy matches his.
Yeah. Yeah, they work perfectly together.
And there were a couple moments where I thought they were going to pick up that win, which I thought would have been very interesting to see. Also, in other championships that were defended at Gold Rush, the Women's North American Championship, Blake Monroe retaining against Sol Ruca after Zarya throws in the towel. We know what this is leading to, but... And I get it. I really do. But you always see it coming when you're like, no matter what, no. And you see the person looking at them, no, don't do it. Nope, I'm not going to watch you get your leg broken or your neck broken or something. Kind of is what it is. I'm expecting them to break up at some point right now. We saw a segment with them later on in the show as well, where Sol definitely was not happy with Zarya over what happened.
Right.
Oof.
I don't even know if that's PG.
Not all. Depends on what you mean by a Tanya Harding.
Let's see what I really enjoyed the Ricky Saints and Oba Femi back and forth. I thought that was really good this week.
Yeah.
They'll have Oba gets his rematch at Deadline, which I'm looking forward to. I like that Trick came out trying to insert himself again, like we thought. I think I called this last week. He'll come out trying to get into the match and somebody will attack him or something like that. And we get Miles Bourne, of all people, coming out to shut up Trick Williams and then telling Cena to pick him. Tavian Heights cut a similar promo earlier on in the show in the crowd where Josh Briggs attacked him. I think Josh Briggs is going to be one of the guys that's going to be next in line at some point. Same thing with Tavion Heights. Same thing with Miles Bourne. I think we're going to start seeing the transition with Ricky Saints or Oba leading this division and leading this brand.
Yeah, and it's about time for some of those guys. Like, Briggs has been around forever. You know, it's about...
He's finally getting that breakout moment, though.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they're trying to get for him.
He's due, you know, and there's a lot of guys who have been around almost as long, if not longer, who are definitely due to have the spotlight on them a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, we do have that. I can look up the full card and we can do predictions right before the end of the show.
For what's that?
Wargames.
Wargames, that's right.
Wargames.
There we go. Thank you, Regal.
Yeah, and the other championship that was defended was the NXT Tag Team Championships. Dark State, unfortunately, retains against Javon Evans and Leon Slater.
Yeah.
Which, as we've talked, I felt like Dark State had a hot start. You know, you've done these groups recently between Nexus and what went wrong with them. You corrected that and did the Shield. And then you went backwards with Retribution, and now you had the blueprint to do a proper group like this. You can even go as far back as to say the NWO and WCW or DX. Aces and Eights, the Nation of Domination, you know, whatever. And I just feel like that and what they're doing with this group right now, even with the titles on, it's not, and I get it could be connecting with other people. This is it could be like how other fans are just like anti-Jey Uso, but I just feel like that's a lot of the IWC with Jey Uso going, oh, we want him there. Okay, now we don't want him there anymore. You know, oh, he won the title. All right, 24 hours later, let's put it on the next person. They just want everything hot shot back and forth and don't want to enjoy the ride of getting there. To be perfectly honest. which is why we try to spin everything in a positive light as much as possible here.
Which is also why I paid no attention whatsoever to what like the internet says about wrestling. I watch respectable wrestling.
There's some places I go where, some sites where I will read the comments just to gauge how fans are responding, and I know how to go through them. All right, there's people who speak it in a common sense way, then others that are just like garbage and just want to bash everything because they want to be fanboys and girls, and it's just like, come on. You know what? You call yourself a wrestling fan. I'm not saying you have to like a product, specifically the people who back in the day didn't watch TNA. Oh, that company's dying. Why? Because you're not watching it? Or the people now, right. Oh, AEW's a garbage product. No, it's not a product marketed to you. Or you just want something to where it's more story than anything. In the end, it's all pro wrestling and there's something for everybody. How many times have I come on this show hating on a show just because of something? And I criticize WWE all the time for how cookie cutter their shows are. But there's still good things that happen in the show. I'm not going to crap on the talents for no reason.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I would love to see them get them titles back.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not you, Steven. Not you specifically.
Yeah, no.
I'm talking about...
There's a lot of negativity out there, and we don't experience it here. Our chat has been very cool. But there's a lot of negativity out there that you come across.
But also here, we do welcome that conversation to be brought up,
Right.
But like somebody earlier, who I haven't seen in the chat since then, so I'm guessing they popped in just to say this and leave. WWE's not dead. Like, you want to talk about WWE being almost dead? Let's talk about when WCW almost actually did put them out of business in the 90s.
Vince Russo.
Well, no. Vince Russo was why they turned around.
No, I know.
But yeah, back to the conversation about Dark State. I just feel like I can't put my finger on that's the problem. Like Retribution, I look at that. When Mustafa Ali became the leader of that group, and I've seen interviews with him where he's talked about what he would have said if he actually got the time, of why they had the names, of why he did what he did to these people, acknowledging who they really were, but why they had these other things was because their names meant nothing.
Look, Retribution would have never worked from the beginning. They look like they picked their costumes out of the trash. It was terrible. They should have never gone.
Taking the appearance away, just at the moment. Let's not focus on that. Just more of something. It's the same thing I said about the Death Riders. I love it, but where's the why? Why is the group going about what they're doing? Why do they, especially with Retribution, why do they have these silly names? And the interviews I've seen with Mustafa Ali where when he's asked about it and he gives the answer, like, I'm just like, that would have made all the more sense. Not that maybe in the long run it still would have failed, but you might have with that gotten people to connect to it a little bit more. Like, hey, I stripped them of their names because of the fact that they had to earn them back. You want to be Dijak again? You want to be Michin again? Go out there and prove it. But no, but the whole thing. Now, I will also say this. Another thing I feel like that hurt Retribution was the COVID era. Because when we see people running in front of the screens and stuff and how they did some of the stuff, it didn't fit the same way as, say, like when Nexus debuted and they came and destroyed everything at ringside. Bryan Danielson chokes out Justin Roberts with his tie, and then rightfully gets fired when he was told that it was cool to do WWE things. There was just a lot, and I also think that Vince he did this last second, throwing it together, and had no plan to begin with. He was just trying to spark something out of nothing.
Clearly.
You know, and to where, again, I will say, Ali had the ideas to try to ground this in. Even if you made the group a little bit smaller, you know, a four-person group, 3 dudes, 1 lady, he's the leader of it. That's fine. That faction made more sense than Retribution. The Joe Gacy faction with Ava and the Grizzled Young. Faction actually made... Yeah, I loved Schism.
Schism were great.
Yeah, again, that's another group to where we can say a 4-person group, and it worked. And I'm not saying Dark State's not working. I'm just saying something needs to change. They need to go back, regardless of having these titles or not. Continue invading. Like we saw them attack Obafemi, and it breaks down to some multi-person tag that, in the end, nobody cared about. Like, you're not making me like them or hate them. That's my problem. You know, I'm not necessarily cheering them. I'm not necessarily booing them. I'm just watching. To where their opponents in that match, Devon Evans and Leon Slayer, I thought would be a very interesting story. What if they won those titles and our tag team champions, one of them's contracted to a different company? That would be a very interesting way to go with those tag team titles. To where in storyline this whole relationship breaks down. What do we do with these tag team championships?
Right.
You know, just something along those lines. Dark State, for whatever reason, I just look at it and it's a Shield ripoff right now with Retribution feels, and that's not good.
I mean, they had a good thing going with the masks and everything, and the being ominous, but then you kind of like overexposed them and didn't do anything with it.
No, so my other thing is, don't you think a group like that would have been perfect to have as part of this whole thing with TNA right now and this invasion angle?
Well, they are involved.
No, they're not involved with that.
They've run in on a bunch of matches.
No. The new angle, the one that just started this past week with Robert Stone. That one. Like they're just showing up and interfering and stuff to be. That's what I'm saying. Like they're just showing. Like at least when the Shield showed up, there was a reason.
Well, you don't need a reason. They just want to create chaos, you know? And I respect that.
Yeah, cool. Create chaos. But, you know, again, I get not everything's for everybody and not everything's going to connect. I acknowledge that frequently.
I mean, yeah, they have been...
I feel like they're in a low right now, and I don't understand how after winning the tag team titles twice. Like, let's get some of these other guys pursuing gold. Let Dark State take over. Let's see some people start having to chase this group. Hell, you know what? Let them appear at Wargames or something. And do something just to get attention on them.
If Dark State was done right, they wouldn't have needed gold. They would have just been, their presence alone would have been feared.
They need the North American Championship or that NXT Championship at the moment. The Tag Team Championship is one set of titles they need, but they need something else.
No,
Go win AAA.
Like,
win
if this
AAA
was done
gold.
right to begin with, they wouldn't have needed gold at all.
No, I agree with that. Because the Shield didn't need gold right away.
Right.
And then they eventually got it, and we saw where that went. 3 men who all won the same title, who all held the same title on the same night. 3 men who were all simultaneously between their shows, their brands and company, whatever, were all world champions. Like, when it really comes down to it, I could almost make an argument for them possibly being the top one, if not the greatest stable of all time. I could make an argument for it. Not that I would win it. I could make the argument That's all I'm saying.
Well, they were.
They're.
Go on.
I'm going to say so. Let's look at it. That group between all three have held tag team titles in some mix between the three in their WWE run. In their WWE run, they were all world champions. Separately, they were all world champions and continued to win gold. When we're just looking at the individuals as the group, Jon Moxley, I do believe, still holds the record as Dean Ambrose for the longest United States Championship reign. Even though he only defended the titles twice, the title 2 or 3 times, but still, that's his record. You know, another group I could make it for, that same type of argument, would probably be the New Day. As a group, that two former world champions, I'm talking the original New Day before the split. Though they outside with Big E, they held the record for a time as longest reigning tag team champions, most tag team championship reigns. 2 former world champions, multiple championships beforehand, because Big E was the Intercontinental Champion before that. With the group, he won Money in the Bank. Kofi Kingston, as a member of the group, won the WWE Championship. Like, there's just something to say when we start looking at these accolades together as a group. You can start making the argument. And it's taking nothing away from the stables of like an NWO. You know, but Hogan was already a multi-time world champion at that point. Kevin Nash had been a former WWF champion. Scott Hall had already made his name without being a world champion.
But I see that kind of different and harder to compare because that's a multi-man group. You're talking trios on one end. You know?
Well, hold on. When I say NWO, I only mentioned 3 names.
Yeah,
I only mentioned
that. NWO, there's like 30 names.
Yeah, but when you talk about the NWO, though, and we're talking about original NWO, you're talking the Outsiders and Hogan.
Okay, so you're just saying
the
Outsiders and Hogan, right?
You know, another group I could throw in there, Evolution. Even though we had 2 established world champions, we had 2 future Hall of Famers come out of that group. You know, with when it was formed, 1 guaranteed future Hall of Famer, 1 most likely Hall of Famer at that point in Triple H. And 2 young guys who we really didn't know was going to come of them. You look at them, you would have figured Batista was the one to come out and be the breakout. But him and Orton both broke out. Even though Orton struggled a little bit at first, you know, he figured it out. It's just you look at these groups, you look at their accolades and what they have accomplished. You know, it would be like taking the core members of the Bloodline, the Usos and Roman. You know, like they had already established themselves. And did the Usos get the tag team record, the longest reigning tag team champions of all time? You get Roman with this ridiculous title reign, which is one of the greatest stories in the last decade. And I will stand on top of that hill. Even though there were times I thought he would drop that title, the fact that that story was able to go as long as it has, and is still going to this day, in some shape or form, just as not being featured anymore. Everybody's off doing their own thing, outside of Solo. Without the Bloodline, we don't get the MFTs. We don't get the Tongans in WWE. You know, we probably don't get any of that. In my opinion. We don't get main event Jey Uso. Which half the wrestling fans will argue would be a good thing. Half of us will argue it's a good thing. And then there will be some of us that are just like, well, I see why he's in the position he's in. And after being there as long as he has, he's kind of earned that spot. It just wasn't handed to him. Like, we're not talking about somebody like a Hogan who blocked people from getting booked. Things that Triple H has been accused of. Things that John Cena was accused of.
doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, plenty of people heard that backstage. Plenty of bookers.
There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
Nope. Never was one. But yeah, I actually have to pull up these results. But I think it's about time we talk some Full Gear.
Yeah, about time.
Because
And while I didn't see the event, I did see some highlight clips, and I know what happens. I was very busy last night.
yeah, so was I. That's why I fell asleep watching the show. And the last thing I remember hearing was that Jon Moxley was stabbing Kyle O'Reilly's nipple with a fork.
Yeah, I got home and it was just lights out. I couldn't even take my iPad out of my backpack.
So we're at PWU Justified last night, and I'm setting this up. The first thing that pops up when I Google the results for Full Gear is AEW will be left to justify its questionable main event decision to end Full Gear. Absolutely love it.
And the ironic part is that there was talk that someone on PWU Justified was supposed to be at that show.
Yep, that is true. But that didn't happen.
Right. Thank God. I'm so happy that didn't happen. Would have been great, but
so we had another. I didn't watch the pre-show. I just watched the main show, but there was supposed to be a CMLL World Trios Championship match with El Sky Team defending against the Don Callis family, and
yeah, I know. Big Boom.
That spilled into the. That didn't start until the actual show started, with Okada coming out, or the match I guess started during the pre-show.
The match had already started. Yeah. He was fashionably late.
Oh, they better call that. Sorry, football distracted. Eagles. Oh, okay, they're calling it.
For some reason, my TV just doesn't want me to watch the game.
So anyway, CMLL World Trios Championship. All right. El Sky Team retains. We're really starting to see a lot of friction between Okada and Takeshita, which I'm absolutely loving. Which, by the way, real quick, bringing up Okada, this past week on AEW Dynamite, the Continental Classic, which I've been talking about for the last couple weeks, pondering if they were actually going to do it or not. What was I saying now? I got distracted.
Continental Classic.
Oh yes, Continental Classic. Very happy. I'm very happy to see it coming back. It's one of my favorite times of year for AEW.
Yeah.
And it's a different style tournament. It's points related, kind of like if you watch FIFA World Cup or something like that. Absolutely love it. And Okada will be defending his championship in it. So, glad to see that.
Yeah, this tournament, every year it's been great. And it's something different. You know what I mean? Like, these matches definitely have a different feel to them. He's distracted again.
Yeah, no. I agree. It's one of AEW's highlights of the year's the Continental Classic. But yeah, El Sky Team retains. We see the friction. There's a little bit of stuff that goes on in the back after the show. I can't wait to see Okada and Takeshita actually have a match.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, they keep building this up like that. The place is gonna explode when it finally happens.
Yeah. So this is kind of out of order. The show opened. The next match was which was going to be the opening match of Full Gear before what they do now, which I'm not really a fan of doing regularly. You should do it regularly because people are either going to just start buying the pay-per-views and you're not going to get the extra buys of having a match spill into the opening of the show. Or you're just going to turn people off from it because they're going to be like, well, what if this was the match they were interested in and didn't care about the rest of the show? But Pac and Darby opened up the show for the first official match of Full Gear, and they had a really good match. Ryo Yuta ends up interfering. I think Pac uses like a bat or something and ends up defeating Darby Allin. It was a good opening match.
Yeah. Where do you see things going from here?
I think this continues.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, Darby's still going to be...
Death Riders have it out for Darby.
Right.
Darby has it out for the Death Riders. This
Yeah.
is going to probably be drawn out at least to the beginning of the year. Maybe
Do we see him move on to, I don't know, someone like a Claudio, or, you know what I mean? Like,
he has to get past Pac still.
well, yeah. I mean, he's already had matches with just, if I'm not mistaken, all of them.
At one point or another, yes.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's just, he's in a position they can come at him from any angle, and he's just not backing down. He's taking on all comers.
Yeah. Darby's one of those guys where we constantly hear he's in a world title picture or being considered for a world title. But I will always argue against putting the world title on him. I don't feel like he needs it. Or even more, I don't feel like the world title at this point needs him.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I feel like the spots he likes to do. Like, so people will always criticize a Jon Moxley spot, right? And I'm like, you'll criticize this, but what about the crazy stuff Darby Allin's doing, but you want to put the belt on him? You know, like, I just picture, and it's nothing against Darby. I love what he does. You know, not only does he do the dangerous stuff, he's also an accomplished amateur wrestler.
Right.
You know, so he knows how to wrestle. He just likes doing risky spots. And I just picture him winning that title and being something like Bryan Danielson. We got the big moment. He wins and 6 weeks later he has to vacate the title. And it happened a year later for him with the Intercontinental Championship. I just don't want to see something like that happen. I would like to see him maybe TNT title picture at some point. National Championship picture. There's so many other, especially in AEW, there's so many other titles to chase. Hey, Darby, you can always show up at PWU. I think there's a certain other guy who likes to do dangerous spots who would have a fun match with you.
Who are you thinking?
Who are you thinking?
I mean, when you say that, I think Rick.
Survey says...
If you haven't already, wait till you see this stuff from last night and what Rick Blade did to Joey Janela.
Yeah. Let's see. We have Fatal 4-Way with the 4 remaining teams in the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. The Timeless Love Bombs, consisting of Timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa, win the match and get pick the stipulation matches, I guess, or whatever, for the tournament, or at least for their match. I'm not sure. Yeah. I think this tournament's been great so far, especially coming out of Blood and Guts, that they were able to take the break to throw that in there. I'm happy to see where this goes. I think AEW's done really good with booking this tournament so far. Hell, if it's one thing I give AEW good booking for, it's tournaments. They do too many of them, but at least I'm interested in them when they happen.
Always love the tournament.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, like the last time is now tournament. It's been good so far. It has not been bad by any means. We had FTR defeat Brodito to win the AEW Tag Team Championships. I thought we would see an Adam Copeland Christian return when they did win. But I thought their match would... Oh, what was it? The spot. They did the apron spot with a spike pile driver on the apron to... Brody King. I wanted to say Brody Lee. And I'm like, no, that's wrong. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. Because, I do expect Adam Copeland Christian return at some point. Considering I think Cope's contract is up soon. They're going to want to get I would try to get that match in, considering... But I do know there's another team in line first. But that doesn't mean anything with AEW. It could turn into a fatal four-way, a triple threat, a tag team scramble. Who knows? I don't even think I've ever seen a tag team scramble, but let's go.
I think I have. At some
I
point.
think we've seen something like it, but just not called.
Yeah. But, that concept.
Something I was happy to see after the history between them, considering that Kyle O'Reilly's last match was against Jon Moxley, was that, again, he did it at Blood and Guts, and he did it again in a no-holds-barred match. Kyle O'Reilly submitted Jon Moxley. They really did have a great match. And I loved Bryan Danielson on commentary explaining what a no-holds-barred match used to be before weapons came into play and everything, of how it was for holds and stuff that, now you don't have to open the fist to him. You can punch him. You can use these moves that would typically be illegal in a normal wrestling match.
Yeah, not just use whatever weapon you want.
Yeah, absolutely love it. I like Bryan Danielson on commentary.
Oh, yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's been really refreshing. Especially, Taz is still away, right?
Yes.
Yeah, in the absence of Taz.
I think even when Taz returns, we could see them just split the shows at some point.
Yeah.
Another match I really enjoyed, I was talking to you about this before we went live for the show. Mark Briscoe defeating Kyle Fletcher in a no DQ match to win the TNT Championship.
Yeah, about time.
Yeah, it's crazy it's taken this long to get gold on the guy. But I am here for it.
Absolutely. Mark Briscoe is just one of those guys, and this is, goes back to even before the unfortunate thing that happened to his brother. Was always just a guy you want to see succeed. At least me, personally. But ever since, he came back after his brother passed, he's been a lot of fun to watch. He's been amazing, but he just hasn't been winning, especially in big moments. And it's very good to see him finally getting his hands on some gold.
And this feud with Kyle Fletcher has been amazing.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I love Callis on commentary. He's like, if Fletcher wins, does that mean I have to pay to feed all of Briscoe's kids?
Oh, man.
Like, how much I have to give it to the Jackal, he's good.
Oh, yeah.
Which if you're too young to know, or just didn't realize, Don Callis was originally the Jackal in the WWF.
Yes.
Just to date it, the WWF.
Yes.
And boy, with the jewel in the middle of his head. Let's see. We have three more matches to talk about. The first one, Jurassic Express and Kenny Omega losing to the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander in the $1 Million Trios match, which AEW, please stop putting stupid things like this on the line. Like, it seems like every week somebody's competing. Are you not paying your superstars enough money, Tony Khan?
Right? Yeah, it is a bad look.
Like, it happens too much.
And that's what I'm saying. If it were once in a while, I get it, but it's almost every week there's a money match.
I feel like for the last 2.5 months I've been seeing them in some shape or form on AEW TV. But the big thing is after this match, the Young Bucks are leaving with Don Callis. They were supposed to make their announcement whether they were going to join the family or not. They start leaving with Don Callis, and the rest of the Don Callis family starts attacking Kenny Omega after they done took out Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. And Young Bucks get to the top of the ramp, and they see what's happening, and they run back to the ring, and they take out the Callis family members in the ring. They make peace with Jurassic Express and make peace with Kenny Omega. I'm very interested to see what this leads to. Now, I'm just real quick, as I kind of touched on earlier, everybody that says that AEW doesn't have storylines. These are the type of things I've been talking about that have been seeds planted all along the way. Little things that told a bigger... They're not telling these little stories like WWE does and then move on to the next one. You know, I always gave WWE credit for the Bloodline story, that they stuck with it as long as they did. You know, because it's hard to keep a story relevant for 4.5, 5 years and then still branch it off into its own things. And that the Bloodline was a successful group. It did what it was meant to do, elevate Jey Uso. We were all told that from the beginning. It did its job, and it did its job beautifully. I do give AEW credit now, though. They're being more consistent in the way they're telling these stories. Like the Fletcher Briscoe story. Like, it's been going for a year now. Adam, one of the ones I have to give props for was when Adam Page finally won the World Championship the first time. Like, in all honesty, I'm going to say this. If I were to pick any one person in AEW as the main character of that when I watch it, it's Hangman Adam Page.
More on him later.
Huh?
More on him later.
Yes. But I'm happy to see this. I'm excited to see where this goes with the feud with the Callis family, considering they're not even seem like they're fully together at the moment as a group.
Yeah, definitely. They seem a little fractured right now. All 38 of them, or however many there are.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out who's had more members in the long run, the Don Callis family or the New World Order. Yeah, the next match to talk about. The Casino Gauntlet. Fun match. Ricochet is the first ever AEW National Champion.
Yowie wowie.
Yeah, didn't get to watch the match. Yeah, I know. Heard a little bit about it. He deserves it. Great athlete, and he hasn't been looking too good lately on television. So, you know.
No, and what they've had him doing, they've had him on the opposite end. But overall, since he's gotten a mic in his hand, his promo skills have improved tremendously over the last year.
No, absolutely.
The only thing that annoys me is that stupid laugh. But I've kind of also gotten used to it, you know?
Well, nothing spilled, nothing broke. Yeah, it's been I'm going to have to go back and watch. I think there's a highlight package that AEW posted from that match that I'm going to have to go back and watch.
Yeah.
I was probably asleep by the time that match was on.
But I was surprised to see Ricochet win it, kinda, but not surprised at the same time. Especially with how that whole story's been going.
Right.
We probably need that as a sound clip. I'm telling you, we just need rotations of sound clips for each week.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, you want to talk about a lot of work? We'll talk about after the show. Yeah. That's not for the public's ears.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
Yeah, no MJF.
No, but we'll get to that soon. What I was about to talk about, though, was Statlander and Mercedes Moné. Now, there is a wrestler we know who is a current champion in an indie promotion that we do cover. I won't say who was offered the opportunity to be one of the belt people for Mercedes during her entrance last night. Instead, this person showed up to defend their championship instead, to be a fighting champion. I love Statlander's entrance of how it was the crash rocket ship. And it was kind of, if you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan pods, that it was kind of like that, but not really. Because that's just an orb as to where this had the rockets on it, but kind of how she emerges from it and everything definitely gave those vibes. These two ladies went out there and put on a hell of a show. Chris Statlander defeats Mercedes Moné. Thank God.
Yeah.
It's worse enough I'm already not a full fan of this whole thing. But it is what it is. And it's fine. Some records are just meant to be broken. Not much I can say on that part besides that. But it also feels like from reports I've read of what she charges to be booked and the stipulations for it and other things like that it's not right to the other talents. But boy, will that talent get put over when she gets defeated. Let's hope not, because she's on a killer run, being the longest reigning champion ever for Ring of Honor, regardless of the championship.
Yeah.
Again, WWE, what do you not see how you could have used talent much better? I'm not saying to give her the Roman Reigns treatment in WWE, but
no, this is probably another case where Vince just didn't get her.
Yeah, I loved the Ember Moon gimmick.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. But Vince was probably like, what am I?
But all right, now the main event of Full Gear. Hangman Adam Page defending against Samoa Joe. And boy, what a cage match these two had. Whatever you're picturing in your head when I say these guys were a bloody mess, outside of a lot of weapons, you're probably picturing it correctly, to be perfectly honest.
Just about every picture the YouTube recap showed of this match was black and white because they can't show blood.
Yeah.
It looked like a horror movie. And from what I understand, I didn't watch the match again, but I did watch a recap. Joe was busted open early. And
yes, he was.
And Hangman wasn't far behind. Nice.
I mean, he is the Hangman. The Red Dead Redemption is literally cowboy shit. But yeah, this match was really good. We get breaking down at the end to the point that Will Hobbs broke the chain off the cage to get in there. and it helped. And then after that, we have Hook coming out, which anybody that's paying attention was like, Hook has said he will do everything in his power to keep Samoa Joe away from that championship. He goes in there, sees the championship, picks it up, clocks Hangman with it, setting up Samoa Joe not only for a muscle buster, but a muscle buster on top of that championship, which looked like it hurt. And Samoa Joe pins Hangman Adam Page and becomes a 2-time AEW World Champion.
No, it wasn't the popular choice, but I love me some Samoa Joe. I couldn't be happier about this.
I mean, I'm happy for him, but I feel like it wasn't time.
I could see where you're coming from with that.
Like, it just felt too soon.
Yeah.
Not without something like an MJF return or something.
Well, we did get a return after that.
Just real quick. I mean, it does make sense, because what if it was all a setup from the start? Like, let's be honest with something about Samoa Joe. Somebody like Triple H was always nicknamed the Cerebral Assassin. Samoa Joe always has a plan. He's not just brute strength. He's brains. He's brains and bronze. You know, I'm promising it was always the plan for this to happen.
We'll probably get a promo like that on Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh, what? Itchy. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, Hook was originally a member of the Ops.
Yeah.
And then he
really
got injured.
Go back and watch this match.
I mean, I disagree with that.
Well, there could be something to it with him getting close to retirement.
Yeah, if that's something like that, I would appreciate that it's just announced and it's not a retirement run.
Oh, no, I don't think Samoa Joe's the type of guy who would do something like that. Like, his career doesn't really necessitate that.
But yeah, so we have people celebrating in the ring. We have multiple people come out in Ops shirts to celebrate as well. Some of them being Primal Fear, Leo St. Giovanni, I believe, and oh God, I just had his name earlier. Well, why does this happen? Aha! It was still up as a page. Colton Charles. Just some of the names that I noticed as part of this segment.
All like the Ops Academy, or not Academy, the Ops Dojo trainees.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
We get the return of Swerve Strickland. And I absolutely love the return of how they did it with... Which... How are you going to return to help somebody, but yet on the Shrine, you have a video of you burning a page of the person you're helping burning your childhood home down? Pro wrestling
doesn't have to make sense.
So, this is something I also brought up as a question earlier. I don't remember, it was pre-show, beginning of the show, but. What happens with Eddie King? I was enjoying this team up. And I'm going to be honest. Eddie Kingston and the Ops would be very interesting. It would be more interesting to me than him being on the babyface side of this.
Yeah, agreed.
Because heel Eddie Kingston is gold.
Oh, yeah. And him and Samoa Joe on the same side, like...
I would like them on the same side, but still kind of have that I'm better than you type thing, Like,
yeah.
We have common enemies at the moment. That's all it is. But I feel like there's a lot of multi-man feuds right now that can happen in AEW. Between whatever's going on with the Callis family and the Elite of Jurassic Express. We have this whole Ops thing with Paige and whoever else. Because I think Swerve's definitely going to be chasing for that title. We have the looming return of MJF at some point.
Yeah.
which is going to be a thorn in Samoa Joe's side. And we now know just to remind everybody, his contract, he can call for the title shot, but it's a 1 week notice now. So very interesting to see where things will go after the fight that broke down. And I just loved it after that swerve stomp and Paige just popping up and them standing up against the ropes together. And almost the fear in Samoa Joe's face while Will Hobbs like, well, he won the title still. You know, it's very interesting to see where this goes from here. Again, I appreciate having a good told story in pro wrestling. But even with AEW, to where I've always still related of being a more indie New Japan style of booking. We have some story, but we don't have the ability, even though AEW does have the ability to tell stories off of TV, they leave most of it on TV and some of it to social media. WWE does it across the board. New Japan, very little story when it comes down to it. They rely more on the talent and the matches.
Yeah. But also there's that aspect of AEW where, how do I put it? Like WWE booking, like they expect their fans to have a short memory and not ask questions when things happen in a couple months that contradicted everything you know. With AEW,
pass interference. Sorry.
With
but
AEW,
it was still a catch.
With AEW, however, it's not as in your face, first of all, and second of all, it's more long term and planned out over a bigger stretch rather than WWE. They want to fit 4 stories into like 6 weeks, whereas AEW, they want to tell several long-term stories at the same time.
With short-term stories in there to break it up to get back around to it. I agree with you on WWE outside that each show has at least one long-term storyline going.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying in general. Like,
yeah. No. I just wanted to add that in there as of it's not us crapping on and not recognizing that they don't tell long-term storylines. It's just their long-term storylines tend to go in with multiple storylines as compared with AEW. As I said, Hangman Adam Page, main character. It seems like somehow, some way, everything consistently revolves around him, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, but, I mean, him beating Mox after his return, it's all, yeah.
But we are here. Last night does not count since we have to talk about it on Tuesday. Our match of the week or moment of the week. Whatever you decide for it to be.
Let me see. Need to refresh my memory real quick.
While you're doing that, see if I can see anything. That really needs to be talked about. Oh, by the way, it's the Bang Bang Gang who will be next in line for a tag team title match.
Okay.
But yeah, if there's anything we missed this week that you would like our opinion on at some point, we do check the comments and everything. We can always post shorts and pop up the comment as well, showing that we are responding to you. So leave it in the comments. Let us know. Because there is a lot of wrestling and we will miss on some things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm going to give mine to Chelsea Green, Ethan Page, retaining against Thea Hale and Joe Hendry. I thought that was a fantastic match. The other thing I had in my head was the return of Brock and Roman at the end of Raw for the moment. You have Cody's promo. Oh, one thing we did miss was the beginning of SmackDown with Drew McIntyre attacking Cody Rhodes in his bus.
Oh, right. Yeah,
because that led to Cody coming out and cutting the promo eventually with a big gash on the side of his head.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to go with... I don't know. I honestly, there's just...
What about a moment? Do you have a moment?
I mean, the returns at the end of Raw.
Yeah.
That was definitely my moment of the week. As far as match, like, I'm really... There was just so much going on. There was some great stuff from Dynamite. There was some great stuff from Raw. I saw some great stuff in person. And I think that's kind
it's
of
a lot of
my
wrestling.
judgment a little.
We watched a lot of wrestling this week.
Oh, yeah.
Just real quick, everybody get a moment. Go check out Wyatt Club Wrestling or Wyatt Wrestling Club, whichever way it is. YouTube, Instagram, and on Discord. Also, get that down. I'm just scrolling along. Also, go check out Wrestle Realm. That's run by our good friend Ryan Milkey. Go give that nice follow. And then do not forget, this Tuesday, 6 p.m., right here, you can catch us for our review show of PWU Justified, where we will talk all the action about what did happen, what might not have happened, what could be happening in the future. We will have all the current information and go over all the results of the show.
So much to talk about.
And as always, don't forget to give us a follow here on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram at BJDG Talk Wrestling. And yeah, everybody be good to each other out there. Do some good in the world. There's going to be some good wrestling coming up this week. We have the Last Time Is Now tournament continuing in WWE. We have NXT Gold Rush Week 2.
We have the fallout from
Full Gear. We have
Gear.
We have the beginning of the Continental Classic starting. We have... Let me get this queued up here.
And we might even have a new episode from TNA.
Yeah, we have Wargames this week. Yeah, stuff we missed was TNA. Just real quick, another moment I absolutely loved this week was the Mike Santana promo to open up Impact this week.
I didn't catch TNA this week.
Do go on YouTube after this and look up that promo. I had kind of speculated of what they could possibly do, and they kind of went that route, but in a more tasteful way, which I really like. No, it was very well done for how they did it, especially considering how he lost the title and everything. A lot of good stuff going on across the board. TNA had another excellent show this week, especially with the invasion continuing to the point that Stax attacked his future father-in-law. Well, distracted his father-in-law to get hit by somebody else, which they have not mentioned on TV on WWE, but they did mention it on TNA TV this week,
right?
About Stax and
yeah.
Ariana Grace. So that's pretty cool. More wrestling than there is time.
And yeah, man, if you guys, are out and about on Friday night and find yourself in the area of Mount Holly, New Jersey, you can come to the Pro Wrestling Star Academy. And
this isn't an updated graphic for it, but we will be holding a SPO Live Black Friday show.
Just $10, I believe, still.
Yes, $10 to get in. And come see some great wrestling.
Hey, SmackDown's pre-recorded this week. You can just read the spoilers and go see some live wrestling.
Yeah, why spend your money and go shopping through all the hectic stuff, when you can just, for $10, come sit down and enjoy a wrestling show. And then when And then this Tuesday, we will show what's been announced for the next PWU show. We will, I'll actually show one graphic of something announced as a nice tease. PWU, silver and gold. Mercedes Martinez will be there Saturday, December 20th. 22 King Street, Mount Holly, New Jersey, at the Pro Wrestling Star Academy. And when tickets go on sale, you know, and I thought that was going to be the block, not the ticker. You know, go online, buy your tickets, use promo code GINGER, and save yourself some money. And if you see me at the show, you can thank me for helping you save some money. We can take a photo, do whatever, you know. Because without you guys, we wouldn't be here right now. And as we said earlier, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave some comments there for us to see. But until then, I think it is time to ring the bell and get out of here. We will see you 6 p.m. Tuesday night for our PWU Justified review show. Until then, be good to each other, and we will see you next time. Ringing the bell and getting out of here.
Everybody watching, I'm going to need you to visit www.freakkings.com. Check out all the merch. And before you do that, I'm going to need you to check out PJDG YouTube and Instagram. And while you're doing that, you won't have to remember the name, because you'll remember the face.